Is there anything you need to get out of your system before you get
I
married?
don't think it's really the system anymore. I mean, at this point right now, hell 40 is knocking on the door.
Well, it's not even about the age.
You reach it first before I do. But no.
Hey loves, thank you so much for tuning in. It's your girl Chanel Navassier. I have my good friend with me today, Clarence. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much for having me, Chanel.
No problem. Today's featured restaurant, vegan restaurant, is Plant Based Pizzeria. They are located in Atlanta, Georgia. It is one of my favorite places to go. It is, again, black owned and really good, delicious spot. We ordered a few items from there and we're just going to be trying them out, letting you guys know when we rate them, playing some games and some trivia, so stay tuned for that. We'll be playing Atlanta trivia with Clarence since he's been here forever, and we'll also be doing some black card revoked. Hopefully he doesn't get his black card revoked, so we will definitely see.
Too much north side in me.
Too much north side?
We'll see.
I know that's right. How long have you been in Atlanta?
Okay, so lived here 3 different times for about almost 17 years altogether.
Okay. Wow. I've only been here for 7 years. In September it'll be 8 years, but I love it. Do you still love it, or are you kind of like...
3 times.
Yeah, true. But you know, there's this thing that happens here, like I feel like after 7 years you want to leave. But you end up coming back. One
thing I learned about being here is you really don't know how much you miss being in Atlanta until you move away. So one thing about it is, it's just obviously where we came from, you know, it's different. So when I first moved here was in 7th grade, no, 8th grade, excuse me.
Okay.
And I moved back, obviously went to Edison, and that's how we got together there. So when I moved back there, at first didn't really notice the differences. It was just me moving back, being around people who I knew.
Yeah.
About junior years when I started saying, wait a minute, there's something about
it's the melanin that he's thinking about, that he was missing.
And literally, remember our graduation, which was, oh wow, 20 years.
We are reaching our 20 year, which is crazy to say.
But I remember right after graduation,
yeah.
I said, I realized then I was done with Minnesota.
Done.
And
yeah.
I left then, like maybe a couple weeks after graduation, and I've been in this part of the country ever since.
And Clarence be having fun, y'all. Listen, this is my party friend. He be turning up, having a good time. I feel like I'm missing out on life.
I'm a homebody,
a homebody? He is definitely not a homebody, that's for sure, okay? I love how free-spirited he is, and he just loves to have fun, and it's always good vibes with him. His friendship group that you've introduced me to, and I've made some friends off of I'll be stealing your friends.
Oh, yeah.
I've made some amazing friends with him, but he is definitely on the scene, knows, you know, what to do in Atlanta, and a great resource if you're coming to Atlanta. Where can the people follow you at?
West Boy 84.
Yeah.
All one word, and that's Instagram, actually Twitter. All the other stuff, you can find me there.
Midwest Boy
84. So obviously, yeah, that's my name. You type it up anywhere, you're gonna find me on there. So that's what I got.
Okay, and what do you do for the people who don't know you?
Ooh, yeah. So every morning I just get up and go to the corner store, the local corner store. Alright, no. I work in commercial insurance, so I do investigations for like businesses, small businesses. There's some large businesses we do as well, but there's mostly like with truck drivers and their trucks and things like that, wherever they damage. Or sometimes they may damage things in a warehouse. And
yeah.
I kind of investigate to make sure that we don't have any other funky stuff going on there. But I have a part-time job that will be my forever job. Had it now for about, I believe when I bought that camera, 4 years? So July 1st would have been the day that I actually bought that camera.
Okay.
So July 1st, 2018. So yeah, it's 4 years. So I do have that. That's also what you would call SDS Digital Photography. No. SDS Digital Services. That's also my secondary page on Instagram. You'll find it on my first primary page. So, but yeah, I've been doing photography for about 4 years now. Trying to blow up on that. going through a rebranding process, so there's going to be some new stuff that's getting ready to come out of that soon. I recently just bought a house, so that's part of the reason why we got to slow it down there. But
yay!
Yeah, so obviously there won't be a fourth time that I'll come back to Atlanta because I just bought the house. But
yeah, we love to see it. So I'll list all of his social medias down below so you guys can follow him. And if you need a videographer in the Atlanta area, he is amazing. Hire him for sure. Or even if you're in another state, I'm sure you wouldn't mind traveling for a nice little gig here. I know that's right. Okay. So definitely check out his photography page as well as his social medias. Listen, he's a good time. You're gonna just, I mean, you know, it's so funny because prior to moving to Atlanta, like, we spoke in high school and stuff like that, but I never really got to know you that well.
No, not in that way. Even though I used to make y'all laugh.
Yeah, you always made us laugh. Definitely, like, always a jokester, but I didn't know you'd be getting down, okay? Glad.
Everybody knows.
The strippers. What's up? You know what I mean? So, I didn't know that he'd be like getting down, like, because he's so, I always thought he was like so shy and quiet and timid, and then I moved to Atlanta and I see like all these flock of like beautiful.
I used to be in the cut, you know, back in, I used to be in the cut. You know,
he lied. We having some fun. I was really shocked. I was like, oh my God, I always thought he was like so timid and shy and stuff, but I love that about you. You be having a good time. Like, that's what life is about, is just enjoying it. And Clarence is that. So follow him on those channels. We're going to get into this food, open up some of this vegan food, and see if you just might like it.
I don't know. We're going to see. Let's
have you ever had vegan food before?
I have not, from what I can. I don't believe I have. Maybe not.
Hey, a first time vegan. I'm here for it. So hopefully, you know, we can.
I hear all this stuff from you about vegan this, vegan.
I do.
So we're gonna see what we got going.
I do, and I post on my stories a lot with like me cooking vegan dishes. What we got first? We got some vegan chili fries, which look delicious. It has some chickpeas on the top of it, and then we got a Beyond Burger and some fries. I ate half of the fries. I'm gonna just confess that right now. Kilt. And then stop it. And then we got a pizza. I got half Georgia peach, which is my. You like spicy food?
We'll try it.
Well, be careful. Georgia peach is spicy, so the pizza is half and half. It's half Georgia peach and half meat lovers or vegan meat lovers, and then we got a calzone that's meat lovers as well. So we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna rate everything and let you guys know how it tastes. So we're gonna get into the plant-based burger, and hopefully you like it. Good play.
Wait a minute. Try this. Don't like it. Hold on.
While you talking, want some fries? Oh, what's left?
You want to kill?
Yeah, this is alright.
It's alright. No.
Have you ever had chickpeas?
It's good. Chickpeas. That's like a
garbanzo bean. This is decent. I'm not crazy about it. It's something different.
It is.
It has some flavor to it.
It's like a loaded vegan fry.
Yeah.
You might sell me on that.
Okay. So what would you rate this out of 10?
Right, negative it now. I'm kidding. No, this is it's good. I mean, it's definitely like a kid. I mean, it's definitely like a 9.
Okay. I'm good for that. Hey. I'm gonna give it an 8. I like it. Alright, we're about to get into some of this vegan pizza. Which one you want to try first? I'm gonna try whatever you try.
Let me go with the hot shit. Hot shit!
It is kind of spicy. Now, I don't know if it's spicy today, but it can get kind of. I like spicy food though, so. It's my favorite pizza.
Alright, here you go.
Alright, ready? Stop it.
So what's on this?
So this is Beyond Meat, spicy Beyond Meat sausage with peaches, grilled peaches, and then you got some fresh jalapenos and some vegan cheese on it with a little bit of sauce. It's flavored to perfection and some red onions on it as well.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. It is a little spicy, huh?
I mean spicy, but I mean just.
You like it?
Outside of spicy, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Okay. Hey, and before we move on, I forgot to ask you to rate the Beyond Burger. What would you give it out of a 10?
Beyond Burger, I thought it was like a bean burger. I tasted that was vegan. I think tasting this burger definitely was a thing. Cause that bean burger I tasted was alright, but it wasn't like this. But this one was had a little more pizzazz to it. It was like, ooh, this one was a little bit closer to a regular burger than that one bean burger.
The bean burger. Yeah, bean burger is very, very vegan. Let's just say that. It's not really flavorful.
But this one was, yeah, definitely the flavors kicked out. I give it an 8 for sure.
You give it an 8? Okay, cool.
Yeah. And this pizza right here, hold on.
Yeah,
We're
going to it.
Okay, so.
It's so good. This is my favorite. This is what I always get when I go to Plant Based Pizzeria. And the menu was a bit limited on Grubhub. That is who I decided to go with today. Thank God they came out here because I live a little bit further up north, so I have a hard time getting food delivered here, so I'm so happy he was flexible. He allowed me to get Plant Based Pizzeria, and it's one of my favorite spots.
I think she wanted that all the time. She just...
I did, kind of. I low-key really did, but for some reason I cut it over. It's a little spicy.
Ooh, that heat started hitting me now.
Yeah, no. So what would you rate that? The meat one.
I don't know. Let's go ahead and feed it to the birds. This one, I'd say. Okay, so the meat lovers, I'll give it about 9. The what's the other? The
Georgia peach.
Georgia peach. I'd say 8. No reason why, because I don't like jalapenos. But no, 8. No. To be honest with you, overall, I'll give both of them about 9.
Both of them a 9?
I give them a 9.
Okay, so you just might like it.
They're good.
Okay, cool. Alright, let's do the calzone and then we're going to get into some trivia. Calzone is big. I only want a little bit. I'm getting full.
Oh, here, this one.
Probably because I ate almost all of them. You put that over there?
It's kind of...
It's heavy. Can you believe this is vegan though? Like...
Did they make that?
This is the calzone. It's so heavy. It's the meat lovers. It's soft.
Piece they put together, yeah.
It's really soft.
Yeah.
The flavors aren't that robust, so it's not really powerful. Very mellow, kind of a moderate taste. I'm gonna give this a 7.
7.
Do you agree? Yeah.
I agree.
It's not that robust. It's not that flavorful. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
So.
A nice little 7. I'm so full. Oh my god. So my favorite was the Georgia peach, and what was your favorite?
I'd say the what was it, the
Beyond Burger.
The Beyond Burger, yes. So the Beyond Burger was pretty tasty.
All right. So we're gonna clean this up, and then we're gonna hop over to some trivia.
Shouting.
We're gonna not shouting. We're gonna clean this stuff up, and we're gonna get into some trivia. We got Atlanta trivia coming up, and then we got Black Card Revolt. Let's see if he can keep up with his cards. If not, we're gonna get him real drunk. So we'll go ahead and clean up and start that session. All right. So next off, we're gonna be playing Atlanta trivia. Clarence. So how the trivia works is I'll read you the question. I will give you multiple choice. You have to say your answer, and then to lock it in, you have to say final answer.
Final answer.
Okay? Yeah. Question number 1. Which of the following large companies is not headquartered in Atlanta? Coca-Cola, Home Depot, Time Warner Cable, or Delta Airlines?
Time Warner Cable, and that's the final answer.
Okay.
That's in New York.
That is correct. Question number 2. What is the name of the new downtown stadium that will host the Atlanta Falcons? A. SunTrust Stadium, B. the Georgia Dome, C. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, or D. Coca-Cola Field?
course, it's Mercedes Benz.
That is correct. You gotta speak up too. You better Mercedes Benz Stadium. That is correct. All right, question number 3. What 1996 Olympic event was hosted at what became Turner Field? Soccer, track and field, baseball, or field hockey?
Wait a minute. What became after?
What 1996 Olympic event was hosted at what became Turner Field?
So it's track and field.
You gotta say.
Oh, fine.
That is correct. All right, question number 4. What Atlanta church was Martin Luther King the pastor of? A. Ebenezer Baptist Church, B. Atlanta Methodist Church, C. First Baptist Church, Peachtree, or D. Capital Presbyterian Church?
I'm gonna say, I don't want to mess with my sword, but it is a Ebenezer and that is the final answer.
That is correct. What movie was the first to film at the new Pinewood Studios in Metro Atlanta? The Avengers, Dumb and Dumber 2, Spectre, or Ant-Man?
I'm gonna say A. That's the final answer.
The Avengers?
Yeah.
The Avengers.
Yeah.
You gotta say?
I'm gonna say final answer.
Oh, okay, that is incorrect. It was Ant-Man. Which of the following celebrities is from Atlanta? George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Brad Pitt, or Matt Damon? This is Atlanta trivia.
Say it for again.
George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Brad Pitt, or Matt Damon?
I'm gonna say Julia Roberts' final answer. So I think that might be correct.
That is correct.
Yeah,
that is correct.
I
tried to throw you a curveball in there, but you said.
I do remember hearing that before.
Wow. Question number 7. Which of the following Atlanta area universities was the last to add football as a sport? Morehouse, Georgia Tech, Georgia State, or Kennesaw State University?
It's going to be Georgia State, and that's the final answer.
It is Kennesaw State. To add the football as a sport was the last to add football. All right, question number 8. What major Atlanta corporation did Arthur Blank, the owner of the Atlanta Falcons, make his fortune with? Delta Airlines, UPS, Home Depot, or Chick-fil-A?
Blank check. So him and Sidney Marcus founded Home Depot. So that's C.
I see you, Clarence. Okay, that is 6 so far right. You are doing amazing. All right, next question. What popular AMC television show is filmed on locations around Atlanta? The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, or Mad Men?
I'll be a madman to say madman. But they actually just stopped doing it a couple months ago, but it's The Walking Dead. That's the final answer.
Okay, I was gonna say, what are you doing? That is correct. Alright, and the final question for the Atlanta trivia. What Atlanta hotel is one of the tallest in the Western Hemisphere at 73 stories? The Marriott Marquis, the Omni Center Hotel, Westin Peachtree Plaza, or the Sheraton Atlanta?
Well, that would probably be the one that is the circular building. So if it's the circular building, that would be the Westin. And that's the final answer.
Wow. Wow. You did that. You did that. You got 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. That's really good. Good. Alright, so that sums up the Atlanta trivia. Next, we're going to move on to Black Card Revoked and see if Clarence can keep his black card. Okay? Alright, this is Black Card Revoked. And for this, he's going to be taking a shot of an amazing bottle of Don Q that I bought from Puerto Rico. This is rum. Some of the most amazing. I do like this rum. So question number 1. On the movie The Wood, what was Slim's real name? A. Ladarius. B. Levante. C. Laviano. D. Slim was his real name.
I just saw part of this recently. I believe it's A. And we're going to go with the final answer.
That is wrong. That is incorrect.
What was that man name? Don't say C.
It was C.
Liviano.
I didn't even know that. I'm not gonna kill him.
I thought it was the first one.
No, sir. I'm not gonna kill him with the shots because he does have to drink. So we're just gonna.
We gotta go up.
A little bit more.
That's good.
Is this okay? Because I hope that I don't know.
All these tall shot glasses.
Yeah. You want a smaller one? All right, chug it. Chug, chug, chug. All right. Question number 2. On the show Insecure, who did Issa cheat on Lawrence with? Daniel, Neighbor Bay, Nathan, or Drew?
Side note, she treated my nigga
Lawrence.
Nathan wrong like a motherfucker.
Really?
She treated him wrong.
He disappeared on her. I disagree. I think the last one is Drew. Sorry, not Drew. Drew was the one that.
I don't think they remember. Well, no, it's A. That's fine.
So you watched the show?
Right.
That's awesome.
I had to after hearing everybody on social media cry about it, then obviously having a lockdown, that was kind of
that's true.
To catch up on everything. Yeah, but no, it was that.
That is correct. It was Daniel. Question number 3. Dominique Jones is the real name of which chart-topping artist? Gunna, Lil Baby, The Baby, or Roddy Ricch?
Oh yeah, I'm about to go ahead and take an L for this one. These are all like new people.
Not new people.
These new artists.
No.
Hold on, say that again.
Gunna, Lil Baby, The Baby, or Roddy Ricch?
I think we know Gunna's real name because for obvious reasons we know his real name right now. We know his real name right now. So we obviously know it's not him. So let's go to the other 3. I don't think that was his name. I'm gonna say a little bit.
So final. You guys still have to say final.
I was gonna say final answer.
All right, cool. That is correct.
Yeah,
so next question. On the movie Friday, who saw Craig hugged up with some tramp? A. Joy's brother-in-law's baby cousin Tracy. B. Joy's cousin Tracy. C. Joy's sister-in-law baby cousin Tracy. Or D. Joy's mama Tracy.
Yeah, no, that question got me damn confused. Wait a minute. So,
in the movie.
In the movie, so in the original Friday, right?
Yeah, the Friday, the first one.
Okay, the original Friday. So I saw you. Read B and C again. So I think it's one of those.
Joy's cousin Tracy, Joy's sister-in-law, baby cousin Tracy.
C. Yeah, that's fine.
That is correct. I really thought you was going to get that one wrong. I really did. Because I'm like, I thought you hugged up with Joy's sister-in-law, baby cousin Tracy.
It was a long.
You had to like.
No. It was a long. I remember it was a long. It wasn't like a straight. Yeah. That's what I said.
Next question. According to Charlie Murphy, what did Rick James Ring say when he punched him in the face? Loyalty, love, money, or unity? According to Charlie Murphy, what did Rick James Ring say when he punched him in the face? Loyalty, love, money, or unity? First of all, I didn't know that Charlie Murphy and Rick James got into a fight.
What was this part of the skit? I would think if he did, it would probably be A, so I'm gonna lock that in. And I'm probably wrong, but I'm saying A.
It was the unity. U-N-I-T-Y. I guess.
Unity!
No,
damn it, that is what he said! That is what he said, damn it! I remember it now, yeah. Unity! Yeah. Damn it, that is what he said. Yep.
Question number 6. According to Wyclef Jean, on the song 911, how tall was the alleged assailant? 6'1", 5'1", 5'3", or 6'3"?
I'm gonna say 5'3", let's see. That's fine.
It's 5'1". Someone please call 911.
Because everything matched with 1, you're right.
Yep. Alright. What did LL Cool J want his around the way girl to have? Diamond earrings, extensions in her hair, a Chanel bag, or a big butt? I need an around the way girl.
I'm thinking the bags. So it's the Chanel bag. No. Wait. Read them to me again. The options.
Diamond earrings, extensions in her hair, a Chanel bag, a big butt.
It's the roundaway girl. She gotta have a big butt. So I gotta be deep.
You don't like that?
Not that in.
Extensions in her hair. Whichever that's part of
She's in your hair. Damn!
You always.
I just thought about it now. I just thought about it.
You
The
always
extensions in your
did
hair. Yeah, because that's what you started to name the roundaway girl. Damn! Come on, Clarence.
Come on. All right.
I couldn't. That part didn't come up to. It was later on. I was thinking about the early part. Okay, yeah. All right, whatever.
Next question. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Who played Pop on House Party? Bernie Mac, John Witherspoon, Robin Harris, or John Amos?
Wait, House Party.
The first one. Who played Pop on House Party? Bernie Mac, John Witherspoon, Robin Harris, or John Amos?
Call her Jawbone. Oh, the late great Bernie Mac. I'll say A. That's fun.
Is it A?
Yeah.
That's actually
No.
Robin Harris.
Was Robin Harris?
Which I did not. I thought it was honestly John Witherspoon. Bang, bang, bang. But I'm thinking Pops from the way it is.
So he wasn't in there. Pops, I don't think was ever in those house parties.
It was Robin Harris. I haven't even been making him take shots, but go ahead.
Alright,
Yeah. Okay. Who was not a fly girl on In Living Color? Jennifer Lopez, Tisha Campbell, Carrie Ann Inaba, Rosie Perez.
But yes, hey, hold on, before the break, that show was like 30 years ago, so don't even come from me. I'm saying Tisha Campbell, that's fine.
That is correct.
Yeah, so I thought I remember seeing her.
Yeah. Final question of Black Heart Revolt. Who was the first black quarterback in the NFL to win a Super Bowl? Patrick Holmes II, Doug Williams, Michael Vick, or Russell Wilson?
Russell would have been the first black to win multiple Super Bowls if it wasn't for that bullshit interception he threw. Vick never made it. Mahomes would have been as well if Brady didn't beat him. But no, ultimately it goes to Doug Williams, and that is the final answer.
That is correct. That is correct. You sort of redeemed yourself. I try and give my guests something that is their field. So yeah, but they all get Black Heart trivia. So yeah, but thank you. That was really, really good. We're gonna go to the next segment of the video, and yeah, I hope you're ready. You didn't do too bad. I mean, you did decent. I didn't make him take as many shots as like he got from him. So
The lights, yeah, that's
it's like, okay, cool. So we'll just wrap this up and we'll start the next segment. What are you looking for in a woman? Or do you want to settle down?
Shit, I'm about to settle down about 15 years ago.
Did you really? Did you really?
I think, I'll say this. Yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean, to say that, I'll say this. Talking to myself coming out of high school,
Yeah.
and this, and to say that 20 years later, one of the things was I knew 20 years later we'd come back and like, have a wife, some kids.
Gotcha.
Come back to high school reunion. We gonna,
Yeah.
And it was like, damn, 38, no kids. No
I feel the same way. I'm 38 as well.
Son of a bitch, what happened? No.
Yeah.
No, I would say, yeah, obviously, yeah. My past stuff, you know, obviously you want to be married, you want to have kids, you want to have everything.
Are you ready to settle down?
Then you see how life is. It's like, oh, shit.
Was buying a house something that you didn't want to do until you got married? Because for me it is. Like you wanted to do that in a marriage.
Here's the thing, buying a house, and here's where if I can go back and talk to myself, okay, so we'll go about 15 years. Well, no, about maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
If I go back and talk to myself, I should have bought it then, because financially speaking, would have been
way cheaper.
The best thing. I always thought, okay, why buy a house when it's not just me. When I'm in an apartment for everyone. But knowing now, it's like, no, dude, buy the fucking house back then.
Yeah.
Now, 10 years now, you could have bought 3 or 4 other houses and things like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
Then honestly, I always thought that I would be married, and just sit back and think about it now. It's like, okay, so now I always think of it like this: if I had gotten married back then, would it be to the right person?
Right.
And you always think I could be married and probably had a divorce by now.
Right.
I could be married and be living in hell right now, but still married.
Or you could be happy.
Or it could be, yeah. That's the third alternative.
Yeah.
I would always say this. This is something I can only do one time.
Yep.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sure there's a lot of. I have a couple of friends. I have one good friend who I met here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Who, he got married his first time, didn't go so well. Married the second time. Oh my God, he is
really
the happiest in his life. He's making moves. He's doing everything.
I love it.
And you get that. So I would have thought that I would have been, I don't know if I could do that. I'm not saying that, that would never happen. I'm just speaking for myself, just to know that I'm really built to do this one time.
Yeah.
I think if that had happened to me, I don't know if I could do it again.
Yeah.
Because of the situation of having to go through the marriage, the highs, and then just the bottom falling out, and you just flatten the line and then starting all over again. That's just me. So I'm always like, how I'm looking now is, this is a one-time thing.
Yeah.
So
Same here.
When I'm ready to do this, this is it. So I gotta know, are you there?
Is there anything you need to get out of your system before you get
I
married?
don't think it's really the system anymore. I mean, at this point right now, hell 40 is knocking on the door.
Well, it's not even about the age.
You reach it first before I do. But no. With the age thing, it's not necessarily just the age, but it's more of just the wisdom of the age.
Yeah.
The wisdom behind the age.
Gotcha.
So it's more of, I held, 25, 26,
Exactly.
But now it's like, no, man, you can't really live life like that. You can't be reckless like that no more because you're much older now to know that.
Well, I mean, like the threesomes, the stuff that people have to get out of it, all the shit.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I was never really wild like that. Okay, there's some folks in high school I know there was. I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna. That's bro code. That is bro code. 101. That got out there. But again, a lot of them are married. A lot of them are living great lives now, and they got that out of them. I was never really like that. I could have been. I never was really like that.
But is that something that you desire?
I don't know. My thing is, if I were to continue to desire things like that, it would be with my wife. Maybe.
Really?
I don't know if she'd be wild like that. If she surprised me like that, and be wild like that, I wouldn't run from it. I don't know if I would be expecting that. And that's not saying that's what I'm looking for particularly. But,
right.
Just that surprise element. But no, ultimately, I mean, there are some things you want to try out. As older. Yeah. But at this point right now, I want the life that I thought I would always have.
So you're into monogamy, not all this open relationship.
I can't. This new age stuff. I don't think I can ever really be with that for this. No, because I'm pretty. Yeah, if I want one, it's going to be one. I don't know if I can really share. I don't know if I can really share that. In the nature of that, I think, because I mean, even if I was polygamous, it would show that I would like one more than any other. Yeah. So at some point, there's going to be, I believe there's going to be issues. I don't know, maybe they like that. I don't know. I don't think I could ever do it. No. I mean, you look at it, you just look around, you see it, and I don't think I could ever do it. No, I think when it's all said and done, I need one to be the one that's following my lead, and we doing what we're doing. But I just need the one. I don't need to be carrying 2 people with me or 3 or 4. I don't need.
So you're into submission, like a woman being submissive.
I'm not saying that. Okay, oh God, here we go with this, because this is the word of 2022. That's
Yep.
I guess we all have to realize what is that first.
So I'm gonna play you a clip. It went viral. I don't know if you've seen it already.
I probably have.
And so basically, there's this girl. She's a football player's girlfriend. Her name is Jazzy, and she was talking about being submissive. Have you seen it?
Cam.
All right. So Cam Newton's girl. Let me show you.
I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like, he's rotten. But I love that. Like, I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. And I've been known to love people back to health. And sometimes it's very draining. But my love is my superpower. And I used to hate that about myself. But now it's like, I'm just embracing it. Like, that's who I am. Like, if I love you, I can heal you.
It's your joy.
It is my joy. You know, I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy. Every night, like clockwork, I scratch this man's back to sleep. And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes. And some people might think that's psychotic, but that's like, I just know that's when I'm like, oh, I can stop now. But I find joy in being your rest, you know? So know what that means. And that works for us because he wants what I have to offer.
So submission. So we just watched the clip from Jazzy, and basically we're just talking about what submission is and what it looks like. How do you view what she said? Like, what do you think about that?
Well, that one right there. What she said there is basically what some men are looking for in a woman is to be able to. It's that peace, bringing that peace to a woman, bring that peace to a man. So being able to do those certain things, I always say this. I love the element of surprise. Surprise me sometimes. Mm-hmm. You hear me out. Hear me of all the things that I want. Read the room and just surprise me. I'm a big sports guy, so you know, teams coming to Atlanta from Minnesota. You know, obviously, I love Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay, they're coming down this weekend. Okay. Let me get ahead of this. Let me buy some tickets.
Yeah.
Let me
get
tell all his friends to get him a jersey.
Get him a jersey.
Custom made jersey.
Yeah.
Let me tell all his friends we're gonna do a tailgate thing going on. Let me try to get that set up for him. You know, certain things that you want, certain things that you know your man's gonna want, that your man may secretly want, but he doesn't necessarily tell you that. And that's what I kind of get from that. So obviously, yeah, everybody has to know what submission is. I always say submission is this. In modern day world, it's the second part of the submission in the
which
dictionary.
is what? Like what? What's the second part? And I think it's good to research. So let's hear it.
So we obviously know the original definition of submission,
which is
ready to conform to an authority or will of others. Wait a minute, that wasn't. Well, that was that's one of the ones from dictionary.
So my definition of submissive, while he's looking it up. So my definition of submissive is being able to rest in your feminine energy if a man makes you feel comfortable or safe to do that. That's how I view submission. Now, I am an alpha a little bit. I can be alpha, but I can also be submissive. It depends on the energy that the man is giving me. I've had relationships where I was the dominant one. I've had relationships where the man led me. So it definitely depends, and I do think that it's a balance, but I think submission is just being able to rest in your femininity and let somebody lead you. I know that's not like the dictionary thing of submission.
No, here we go. Submission. That's right.
Yeah.
I got it. All right. So, it's the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person.
That's aggressive. That's aggressive. I don't know if that is so when it comes to like police officers or authority figures or something, but I don't know if relationships.
I guess if let's kind of, okay, so obviously that's authority. Let's look at authority figures like this. You know, obviously the hierarchy of life.
Yeah.
Obviously God, man, child. God, man, woman, child. Right.
Yeah.
So I think if you look at it from that perspective, then yes, obviously, well, God's not here in a physical form. We don't have children, so those two elements are out. So now it becomes to just what are the two elements there? So obviously, man would be based on the hierarchy. Man would be the above over the woman. So that's where the superior force would be, and I guess the will and force. Those strong terms are what makes it strong, but ultimately, the man would be the above over the woman. based on the hierarchy of life. That's just what's in the Bible. So Clarence,
don't come for him.
That's what's in there. So the second one is, and this is the one where everybody says most modern women fall into here, is the action of presenting a proposal, application, or other document for consideration or judgment.
Okay, that's softer.
Some are like saying that's kind of like a submission of a document or submission of a paper there. But if you were to look at it like that, it's almost like, yeah, basically it's a softer version of it. But that's more of what a lot of modern women may approach, how you approach submission today, is where, you know, again, if you're submitting the paperwork, you don't have to submit. I can pull it back and say, nah, I'm not doing this. So it's almost like what they call conditional femininity or conditional submission. Whereas
that's interesting.
I'm not going to submit to you unless you follow these documents, you follow all these guidelines.
Kind of like what I said about I submit if the guy isn't an alpha, and I feel like I can relax in my fender because somebody's got to lead. I
think the biggest things with this sometimes, and good point, but I think sometimes where the whole issue is allowing the guy to reciprocity is big for me. For somebody like myself, I you know, for all the energy she's given to me, I'm gonna want to give it back.
Yeah.
In some cases, there it does feel like she was giving a lot of herself to him. But again, I can kind of go back to what I was saying before. I think there are some situations where, the element of surprise. I like that. You know, I like to be able to know certain things about, or for you to do certain things for me without me necessarily having to ask. And I think sometimes with this is we have to realize there's a lot of women who don't really know the guys that they're dating or the guys that you don't really know them. You don't really know
to be jumping into him like that.
To be just in general, like to know, like the people you date, certain things that you know about this person. And I think sometimes it doesn't, for a woman to learn certain things about a man, it doesn't necessarily benefit her to know. Yeah, for instance, if I tell you what was my favorite, when we dating, or the last guy you dated, you asked him what's his favorite car, what kind of car do you like, or if he asked you what's my favorite old school, what's my favorite car that I like, would you be able to answer that?
Yeah.
And you know, and again, it's not necessarily.
I pay attention.
Yeah, that's what I said. Not necessarily, not you directly. But
see, and I think what we're both saying is like we both pay attention. We're water signs. He goes against this whole Scorpio thing because he's a hater. He's a Pisces, but we're all water signs, so gang. But anyway, you know, we're water signs are very loving, very loyal, and we give, right? And so I think that. In that sort of a setting, we would be the ones wanting to know more about our mates.
Right.
I don't think that these people are in reciprocal relationships where they are getting the same thing. Right. I think that I
think she's really putting her, and I think where I kind of go with the whole submission thing is I think she's giving a lot of herself to the man. It felt like she gave everything to him, and. What is he giving back to her? And I don't, you know.
Maybe the fact that he's rich is what she feels like. That's what it sounds like.
It's like the lifestyle, The lifestyle allows you to do, and I've heard a couple of women say the same thing. Yeah. One for the money, this ain't happening. Yeah. You're not, and I think again that kind of
goes back
to this whole submission thing.
If he wasn't Cam Newton, come on.
It goes back to the whole submission thing, whereas I think the rope. You allow more. You allow more because he has money. Whereas if he didn't have money, he didn't have others. That you're cutting this off.
Big facts.
Immediately.
Big facts.
You're cutting it off immediately.
The regular Joe Schmo is not getting that treatment.
Broke ass shit. So now we're getting to this point of relationships. Now again, I think at some point, I think within the next 10, 15 years, traditional relationships will be normal.
But I want a traditional relationship. I'm so old-fashioned. Give me that old school. Probably because, I come from that. My parents were like that, and I mirror that. We mirror the relationships that we see. And so I hope to God that I can give me a traditional relationship before this door closes. You know what I'm saying?
It seems like that, but right now, I mean, just to be honest with you,
it's hard to find.
I think it's getting to the point where we're in that transition stage to where ultimately, within the next 10 to 15 years, traditional relationships are going to be very rare.
Very much.
Non-existent.
It's almost already it. Do good guys finish last?
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, we know that. Y'all know that. Yeah.
No, I'm a good woman, and I feel like good women finish last as well because they like the bad girls to be on smoke, the pretty bad girls to be on smoke, and guys really like that. They like that, sassiness.
I'll say this in general of society. Just kind of,
Am I on the right path though? Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say to your initial question, yes, obviously, yes, good guys do finish last. It's almost like girls too. Oh yes, it's almost like yes, girls too. Yeah. It's almost like only reason why I say guys because I think girls control. You ultimately choose.
But I think the same with guys, because y'all, if I say we in a relationship, we not in a relationship until the guy says we're in a relationship.
Right. Ultimately, as far as that, but as far as wanting a relationship with that guy, I'll say this. Okay, let me go to it. Okay.
If a girl really likes you, they just run from it. But the one who's standing them up and treating them like they ain't nothing, she might be beautiful and all that, but the little plain Jane who be just sitting at the house chilling on a good old Friday night, doing nothing much, just got a little cute little kitty in the garden.
But again, she got options too. That she could go.
But that's not true though, because I feel like those girls don't really go and do much, and the guys who like all that toxic stuff, they're like, oh, she's boring. She's boring. You want the smoke, but you want the boring too. So pick a side.
I don't know if that happens.
Pick a side.
I don't know if that really happens on y'all. Okay, so I know for sure it's on our end, for sure, and it's almost like this. I think. That type of situation, I heard this before, it's almost like a race. A one-lane race. Here's this girl right here. She always has the guy that she really wants behind her. She always has the...
Behind her or in front of her?
No, remember, we're chasing her.
Right.
Okay. So, it's almost like, okay, the guy, the Chad, the drug dealer. Oh, no. Usually the rich guy, the Chad, the drug dealer. And then the nice guy, and it's a one-lane road. You can never pass. You can't pass nobody. So this guy can't just jump in front of all of them and say, "Come on." She has to either turn off or make one of them
deactivate it
to get to this guy right here. A lot of times it doesn't happen. She's never gonna lead the rich guy. I probably should have made the rich guy the bigger cup, but she's never gonna lead the rich guy because he has a lot of money. What are you doing for?
Yeah, but what if he's disrespectful to her? And it depends on what type of woman you're dealing with.
Well, disrespect a lot of women.
A lot of women get disrespected.
You stroke that chick, they gonna take it right here in the chin.
But see, I'm not in.
I mean, again, I'm not saying you.
I know, but I just from the other side, being the woman that isn't materialistic, doesn't care for money, like don't fuck with drug dealers, cause baby, I'm 38.
But again,
you know what I'm saying?
They got Chanel at 23.
Oh, I'm the same.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, not you directly. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it.
But at 23.
But at 23, think of a woman at 23. So.
Oh, she's trying to party.
So she wants to fun guy.
But she's not trying to marry either. So why would you try and tie something down that's not ready for it?
Drug dealer's not married. Again, this is
going for the drug dealer.
Again,
I'm talking about at our big age. Let's apply this.
No. Today, obviously, everything's in reverse. Yes, that's just what you want. But remember, women are more at you're more at your peak, your hottest, everything at your younger age. So everybody wants you. This is when everybody remember at this point you're 38 years old. Hey, rich guy don't want you no more. You can go fight. He's getting ready to go back and do the whole cycle over again.
To the younger
girl. Yeah. You got the money. She wants it.
That's facts.
Drug dealer, chances are either he's dead in jail or he ain't shit. So
it's true.
At this point, you're older. Again, physically speaking, look, women.
I'm
physically speaking,
I look just as good as when I was in high school, if not better. Okay.
All right, she does.
Yes.
I need to. Again, I need to work on it. Because you know,
you look good too.
Remember, both were skinny as shit back in high school. But anyway, but again, physical appearance for a woman, that's the thing. That's ultimately that guy. This nice guy, he likes that too. Does he necessarily want the woman when she's old and not necessarily? I'm not saying rude, but just older and not at her peak anymore. Let's just be honest. When women get older, it's going down.
But our sex drive is a madness. So I tell you right now, okay, the sex drive is the thing.
I've heard it.
Yeah.
I heard that too.
While y'all are declining, we are going up.
But again, the physical is what the guys are gonna want.
Definitely.
So ultimately, when you're at your youngest, all of these guys are chasing behind you. Remember, again, it's a one-lane road. So she's never tell the rich guy.
Yeah.
She wants this guy. He's fun as shit. He's just the fun.
Who is this guy?
He's the drug dealer, the Chad.
I've never desired that.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But I get it.
That's fine. We Midwestern people. I understand that.
Yeah.
There's something. And then there's this guy right here. He hasn't really developed into his life yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's still he's grinding toward that top.
Right.
Now, ultimately, again, he's not necessarily rich, but he'll be here at some point. But he's not there yet. But again, the woman's not gonna look at him. And they look over.
That's where charm and funniness, the funny guy wins the girl. If you can make me laugh, you bring good energy to me. I don't care about your money. I don't care about your drugs.
Do you think that sometimes? I think sometimes with that, and that's fine. That's great. But do you think that brings like a masculine? It's a masculine trait as far as being being the jokester guy. Is that the masculine trait that you would want? Because again, most women desire
I like a balanced man. I like a man to have both feminine and masculine energy because you have to learn when to apply either or. And to me, that's attractive. Like, as much as I want my man to be like dominant and the head of the household, so to say, I guess I'm not too big on gender norms. I also want him to be able to tell me how he feels. He doesn't have to cry in front of me, but if he does, that's cool. But I also want, I like softness sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes.
There it is right there. There it is.
But even if he is soft, I like that. Show me, but I can say, me at 38, I can say that now, but back then I want to be a...
Again, I think that's right. Okay, you're one of the 0.007% of women.
And I'm aware that I'm very rare. And
but again, this is from what I've seen over the years. Yeah, again, I've approached it. I always want to, that goes back to when I was in high school. Remember you and Keisha in art class? I used to make y'all laugh all the time. Saying this silly shit. But at the end of the day, it's the masculine traits. A lot of people feel like that's not a masculine trait. That's more of a trait of
like it making the girl laugh.
It feels like it's almost like a goofy type of thing. That kind of downgrades it, even though you could be funny. But I guess it's more. It's not more of that. It's just more when you apply it.
Yeah.
And I think I've learned that now when to apply it.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. Yeah. I mean, you want that. 'Cause I mean, again, anytime I always get a girl, whenever a lady laughs in front of you, a lot of times she's not necessarily letting the guard down.
For sure.
Whereas, hey, that's kind of where it is.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of short guys do that because.
For sure.
And
they want to climb it straight.
That's kind of how that goes. But yeah, just kind of this, I guess going with the nice guy finished last thing, or nice people finished last thing. Yeah, I think just more of. Remember the girl who rejected the nuclear physicist?
No, I didn't hear about this story. Is this the girl who? Hold on, wait. I might know this story. I'm not quite too sure.
Let me see if I can find it here.
Hello. Oh, hi.
What are you? You're reading?
Yeah, I was actually reading. I ship out in a few days, so I was just reading The Art of Strategy.
Okay.
In the military?
Yeah, so actually I'm a nuclear physicist for the Navy.
No.
So I do that in a few days.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
How old are you?
I am 27. I look a little young. I'm not that young.
Yeah, you look young.
So where do you live?
So I'm actually in the Woodlands, Texas right now. Right down there by Houston. I'm about 30 minutes away from Houston, so I'm a little close.
Oh, nice. Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Man, where do I start? I like martial arts a lot. I did a bit of pharmacy back when I was a little bit younger, about 2-3 years ago. I got certified at pharmacy around when I was 17. I didn't really do anything with it. I went to university for a while. I was getting like a business degree. So I have a bachelor's in business. And then I did pharmacy for a little while, for about 3 years, and then got bored. So I was like, let's go see what the military has to offer. Didn't do anything. I did my PICAT about a year ago. Got a 96 on that. It goes up to a 99, got a 96. They offered me nuclear physics, and I was like, why the fuck not? So I went there, and now I ship out in a few days.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, best of luck as you ship out pineapples.
Yeah. Why?
Because he literally didn't tell me any qualities about himself. He's just like, I made a 96 on this. I did this. And I feel like I did that at first too. But however, I need a man with some personality.
You felt that quick? You know you didn't have personality?
Yes, I'm really good at reading people.
Okay.
So you just saw that. Now you was getting ready to say something before I cut that, before she pineapple them. What was you getting ready to say?
So I saw the clip, but I didn't see the part where I'm gonna be honest, it's all about accountability. I was getting ready to say he sounded like a narcissist. He did for a little bit. He was just going on and on and on, and my degrees and da-da-da. But in retrospect, I like a guy like that. I love a nerd. I love a smart guy. I love a guy who has degrees, and I liked it. It just was like kind of like snobby, persnippety kind of energy he was giving.
And the reason why I say that is because you're actually the first person out of all the reaction of this that I've heard say something about him being a narcissist. Or kind of sound like a narcissist. Now here's where I'll combat that.
Yeah.
The question she asked, to me, the biggest thing was the question she asked. Now this, again, I think in this show they have 2 minutes, it's like speed dating thing, so you got 2 minutes to get through. So his answer was long-winded, but my thing was...
That's why he sounded like a narcissist to me, but I'm sorry, I digress.
My thing was this thing, I felt like the type of question that she was looking for was... she looked for more, I think she ultimately said he didn't have a personality or whatever.
It did kind of sound kind of stiff.
So therefore, my thing was, but then why not ask a personality question? Why not ask, well, so what do you do for fun? What do you do in your spare time? Anything that would gear him away from talking about his accomplishments? Because again, it just said, tell me about you. So ultimately, tell me about you means, tell me about yourself. So you kind of have to go into your narcissist side to tell that, right? Sure. So I think the line of questioning she did was bad. Now again, you could tell by him immediately when he started talking, it was kind of like, hell no. Like that, like nah, bro.
Well, I feel like she's turned off because he is a smart guy. She doesn't want the chat, as you called it. You know what I'm saying? She literally was like, if he's not on smoke, then I'm not here for it. That was the energy she was giving me. I didn't expect her to turn him down like that, though. That's what spun me. And you can see the disinterest in her. And that goes back to, she's young. At that age, you want the smoky guy.
So this kind of goes back
you want this bad boy.
And I believe she's 23.
You could tell from her energy. So this analogy that you have set up here with the rich guy, the drug dealer in the chat, it does speak to that 100%. So that's a great metaphor. But at 23, I wasn't on that. Honestly, I really had marriage in the front of my mind more than anything, because I was like, I want to be married by 25 and this and that or whatever. But at 38, of course, I don't think like that. But at my age, I probably wouldn't want a guy like that either, to be honest. But now, 100%.
Here we go.
It's true. At least I'm being honest.
So that goes to show your answer to nice guys finish last. This guy. So I think what you get from this guy is that he's somebody who ultimately is going to date outside of his race. Whereas 10 years, so many years from now, people are going to come back and they're going to say, "Oh, he doesn't date in this race. He's sold out.
I like this.
Whereas, you know, he tried to get a girl like that, and I think a lot of that speaks to how are men and women, but I'll speak to her.
Black.
I'll speak to her. It could be that too.
Yeah.
How are we programmed in the sense of how we were raised to look at certain things? I think we idolize.
Nerds.
One thing we say that blacks idolize nerds.
I'm not idolize. I'm sorry. The opposite. The opposite.
Yeah. I think one thing is, and I heard before, that blacks, we seem to celebrate and acknowledge ignorance more than anything else.
Yep.
And I think nothing wrong with her. Look, at the end of the day, I think, you know, it's not her type. Not her type. And I don't think that's not something to fight at. But I think more so, if not, this example is magnified across the nation. You know, again, he speaks too properly. He lives in an area where he ain't in the hood. He definitely not in the Woodlands. He definitely not in the hood. Woodlands is known like Buckhead here.
Woodlands is beautiful.
Alpharetta, Buckhead here. He ain't in the hood.
He definitely is not in the hood.
So automatically, that's a turn down. And I think a lot of that is how we were
Conditioning.
Or blacks were conditioned. Not necessarily me and you, but it's just more of just how
no, but we come from it. We just broke the mold though. And you said two things before I forget that were really interesting. You mentioned about him turning and going and dating a white girl, and then him articulating. As a black woman who is educated and I articulate, do you know how many times black guys just automatically put me in the bucket of dating white men? They're like, "Oh, you date white guys." I have never dated. There's nothing wrong with that, to each his own. I've never dated a white guy a day in my life.
And
but
it's crazy.
They're so
crazy where we come from, but
because we're from Minnesota, so you know the population of blacks to whites is like
and I haven't either. Yeah.
Right. So the two things. Why do I hate that our community does that? Like, just automatically, if you know how to speak proper English, you're white. I have been scolded for years. I've been called white girl from family members, friends. I hate it. And it makes you want to dumb down your intelligence.
And I agree. Yes, it did. Yes, it did that. And I think when I first moved here, that was one of the things here where
you didn't have to do.
No, that was the biggest culture shock.
Oh yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Up to what 7th grade, I never moved out of my house. I was always on the north side, 24th and Lindale, over there. House is still standing, but yeah, I never had to. I never had to worry about moving away. Never had to worry about being a new kid in a class. So when I came here, it's
all different ball game.
All different black. So I'm looking around like, damn, white people.
And culture shock.
They're the minority.
Yeah.
They're the minority.
Here's what's interesting and we'll go back to the him saying that him wanting to, he'll go and start dating white girls basically, right? And I want to talk about that because as a very pro-black woman, right? I'm all about my race and I only date people who look like me and to each his own, you know. However, what is it about, like, I guess I get so upset. Why is it that yes, because one black girl or a few, or if you do talk proper and you don't feel like you're finding any black women that can understand and date you, why is the resolve to go to a white woman? This might be a little touchy for some, so.
So here we go. So we're gonna, obviously two guys in this culture that we kind of separate ourselves from or kind of have this biggest battle about.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson versus
Sierra. Future. I hate that one though, you know?
But no, you know what? That dynamic exists. And that dynamic is why he's going to ultimately do that.
I don't look at them as the status quo go relationship.
I don't look at it as a status quo, but no, again, not necessarily looking at what happened in this as far as the relationship, but just looking at the two individuals.
He's not a cornball.
No.
Somebody brought this up on a podcast really quick. They was like, oh, Claudia Jordan, she said this. She said, that is what's wrong with our culture. We say, oh, you seen the clip of Claudia Jordan?
Not yet. I'm
basically just saying that, why is it that if we're praising, you're saying Russell Wilson is a nerd and a corny cornball guy just because he articulates and he's presentable, if you will, or just carries himself differently. I just hate that black people
That's where we're at in this society. I mean,
sucks.
that's just where it is. Whereas, I was called a nerd in high school.
I've been called a nerd too, yeah.
And it has it's not necessarily, I guess, the square lane thing, not necessarily a negative. Sometimes people will say, well, it's not always a bad thing, but there's a negative connotation.
It is. I've been called a square forever.
And it's always a negative connotation about it.
Yeah.
So therefore, yes, that's where we're at. Again, every future was once a Russell Wilson.
Really? How so? He just found a way to get the girls, is what you're saying?
Heart got broken. This is why ultimately I said, y'all choose.
That's interesting. That's very, very interesting.
You choose. Heart gets broken.
Wow.
Heart gets broken. You don't want that feeling again.
You gonna smoke.
You turn
Maybe
the
I'll
other
check the
side.
future.
All Russell Wilson, all futures were once Russell Wilson.
Wow. Never thought about it like that. Never thought about it like that.
Think about it. Who grows up as a kid being a future? Wow. A lot of kids have grown up to be Russell Wilson. Russell Wilsons.
That's interesting.
You meet that heartbreak.
You got me on there.
That nature, as I call it, nature.
Yeah.
Female nature, as some people may call it.
Yeah.
I call it nature.
Wow. I never thought about it like that. That's very true. It's very true.
Turns it around. Next thing you know, this is what you got. So this is why I always say that he would ultimately go to a white girl, because again, he's just trying, he's probably, again, a lot of nerds are attracted to women like that. The hot black girl, a lot of nerds are attracted to that.
Yeah.
Hot popular black girl, looking good.
We want what we are.
And yes, and that
This young lady on this pineapple show or whatever, you could see her face instantly being like,
and that's where everybody.
You
so all the reactions, all the reactions come to that.
Yeah.
And it says that immediately off the rip. So she kind of used a softer way of rejecting them versus just saying.
She was abrupt, if you ask me. That was a great.
No, I mean it was pineapple, but I think she gave it the explanation afterwards as to his personality didn't fit. She needed somebody who had more personality. Yeah. So that was automatically, I don't need you. I need more of a future type of guy. I need
but isn't that, or is it that she asked him, like we said, the wrong questions?
I believe but that goes to a general spectrum of dating. Sometimes women, I've had women who have cut me completely off of one thing that was a complete misunderstanding. I think so. Last year, I would say, met a girl on Bumble.
I love Bumble. That's my favorite dating app. I see.
So, met the girl on Bumble, matched with her and everything. Now I'm driving to Cincinnati, so I'm going up here. I watched the Vikings and Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals play last year. I went to the game. So I'm in Cincinnati, so I'm out of town for the weekend. I already know, okay, I'm not gonna be able to talk. So we kind of text back and forth. So I always ask this question. I've asked it recently, and it's always, what is your preferred method of communication? What I mean by that is, how do you want me? If I wanted to just reach you right now, what is the primary way you want me to reach you? Do you want me to call you? Do you want me to video chat you with you? Do you want me to text you? Hell, you can go back to email. However you want me to do it. Face to face. However you want. I'm more of a face to face kind of guy anyway. But that's kind of what I meant by the question. So instead of just asking me, okay, hey bro, what fuck you mean?
Yeah.
What the fuck gonna match me?
She what?
Unmatched me.
Just because you asked what your preferred method of communication is.
So I'm guessing she unmatched me because I guess she felt like it was a inappropriate question, or it was a, well, what do you think about it? No, one reason why I say that is because before I asked the question, and the girl kind of like, what do you mean by that? That was a, she kind of had a snapback. I'm like,
what she say?
Like, well, so I asked her the same question. She was like, what do you mean, like, what type of communication we have? If I gave you my number, I want you to call me or whatever. I'm like, that's what I'm asking, sweetheart. Sometimes, hey, I know a friend right now, a good, very, very, very good friend. She's in Kansas City, so she'll know what she's talking about. She sees this. Who always say, if the house ain't on fire or if you ain't about to die,
come on,
text me.
Basically,
I ain't got time to. I don't want it, and that's fine.
And everyone's different.
I'm good with that. That's what I meant. So after I broke that down to her, I broke it down to her kind of. Ultimately, I just decided I don't want to.
Yeah, it's not even worth it. She caused you a headache already.
I'm at that point. Yeah, if I got to do all this explaining to you for that, for a simple question, I don't want that. But basically, what it boils down to is this: like, it's not a dumb question. And if you think it's a dumb question, won't get clarification of it instead of just. I'm cutting them off meeting. I'm cutting them off. Get clarification of it. Because I can always say, hey, look, I'm out of town for the weekend. I got a 7-hour ride back. So if you want me to call you, trust me, I'm gonna call you while I'm on this road trip. I need somebody to keep me up.
Right.
But if you don't want me to call, primarily speaking, I don't want you. Hey, don't call me. Just just text me.
Yeah.
Or hey, video chat me. Hey, look, I want to see you. I don't want to see you physically, but I do want to see you at some point. Okay.
Nice.
But that's just your primary method of communication. And I think this needs to be always asked because then I always hear just being around other women that. If I give you my number, I want you to call me. I'm tired of you texting me. Text me. Or why do you have to call me for it? If it doesn't involve, if it doesn't need to be called, just text me.
Yeah.
It's like, but did you tell me?
We really be thinking men can read our minds like that, and they can't. You need to open up your mouth and communicate like a big woman. Okay, communicate. I know I had to learn too because I don't know where we get that from, where we just think the guy's supposed to read our mind, but it's like, especially when he's trying to get to know you.
Absolutely.
Tell that man what you need.
And that's why I said so. And the bad thing was, she was pretty cool. I would have when I got back, we would have a couple of dates. I would have, but
she was unhealed. That quick,
could be definitely.
She was unhealed, and she wasn't away.
Yeah, but I think for me it was just like
it's not that serious.
Like it's not that it really is, but it's just more okay. Damn, she was attractive. I would have like damn.
Everything pretty.
So it makes you think about it, but ultimately, no, you're right.
Yeah, she was unhealed.
Got it. Okay.
I love that though. When the trash takes itself out, I'm here.
You're right. You're right about that. You're right about that.
Takes itself out, I'm here for it. Take yourself to the dumpster. Do not come back.
I absolutely agree with that. But like I said, going back to this guy here, I guess just kind of wrap it up here.
Yeah.
But he would go to a white woman because again, he's probably had that rejection with other black women over time. Whereas, again, that's what he wants. But when he gets to talking, when he gets to doing these things, you're immediately turned off by because he's boring. He's not as fun. He doesn't have criminal records. He ain't shot nobody. He ain't did these things. And I think a lot of times, and here's where I'm going with the guys. There's a lot of guys who may play into that and say, you know what? Let me play to that role. And you fuck yourself up like that. Always stay true to who you are. There's some men who don't do that. There's some men who early on their age, these women don't want me, fuck it, I'm just gonna be the dope boy, I'm gonna go ahead and become this dope boy, this future, I'm gonna do all these things to try to appease that one woman, whereas ultimately you gotta stay true within yourself to not have to do that.
That's right.
And also sometimes you get these fake rappers, not necessarily rappers, just all these fake drug dealers, fake people who are not about that life,
for sure.
who try to force that life on them, and a lot of times either they're dead or in prison because,
that's not who they really are.
That's not who you really are, but a lot of that is because they want to appease just people.
Women.
women too.
Women are the #1 cause.
Oh shit, women cause wars and everything.
That pussy be controlling everything. Let me tell you something, ladies. You got so much power between your thighs. Sugar pie, let me tell you right now, okay?
What?
You control everything. You just don't think you do, but you do. I read a quote once, and I don't know if I'm going to say it verbatim, but it said was it a submissive woman controls a man without her knowing it or something like that?
That's true. That is true. And I guess you're right about that. I've heard that too. And I think a lot of that is, yes,
submission.
A woman who does not everything, but just a woman who is just a woman with I always call it a true woman. Yeah. It's a woman who is a true woman. I think I always used to say that. I kind of backed off that, but lately, a woman who's a true woman, who is who can just read the room, who can just really relax me, make me think of things, but at the same time, it's like you have the control. You know where you want me to go, but at the same time, you're not forcing it. You're not. I ain't here. I'm an alpha one.
Isn't that beautiful though?
I'm not versus,
just relax.
Relax.
Yeah.
Let me know.
And that shit sounds so sexy. Like just being submissive, it does have a sexy connotation. Whenever I have been able to relax my feminine energy and be kind of just really soft and like a flower, and it's not even being weak, because I think a lot of women correlate submission with weakness or whatever. It's so sexy and sensual when you can just relax and just let a man be, and even if he is not right, okay, it's not even about right or wrong, but it's just like, yes honey, that's fine. Or if they want to order for you and they want to kind of guess what you want and they know you well enough, not no control and shit. But me as a woman, I like that. I like when I can finally relax and be, I guess, submissive. It sounds so weak to say because our society has tainted it so much. But I can tell you from experience, and I'm not in a relationship or anything like that, but there's so much power if you really fall back and see who you. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful exchange. It's not about like I overpower you. It's just that the man respects you because he feels like he can rest with you and you're not a headache. That's the thing. Yeah, I'll say this. Yeah, to that. Yes. Yeah. A man should be able to know that. Yeah. I should be able to trust you. I can come to you. We can go behind this closed door, shut the door to all the world. It's just me, you, and these four walls. And I can tell you everything. Yeah. When we walk out this room, you will not repeat it. Gonna come out here. You would never use that against me. Oh, we got that baddest one. You would never. Yes, that's the thing. You would never use that against me. Yeah. It is. What they call patient client privilege. That's exactly what this is. Nice. It's the privilege of that. Women sometimes miss that point. They feel like I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to have to necessarily cater or cotter to a man. I don't have to. I love that. I don't necessarily want to have to do that. The man, it basically is almost like the thing with the finish line. Yeah. Finish line's here, woman's here. You want this man to come to the finish line already made and put together. I'm telling you the newsflash here, man, women. A lot of us men are not. A lot of us men mentally, or just pretty much, just not necessarily mentally, but just societal wise, are not put together to our early to mid 30s, maybe sometimes in our case late 30s. It's a long time for them to do it. So I think a lot of times pressure is on us to nowadays to have it all. At that time, that's not the case. Yeah. So it's always finding the man who has that potential. And one thing about this, women, always find men with potential. You always find a man, or you try to find a man with the correct potential. Sometimes y'all feel like doing that too. But I think again, being able to find that man and being able to let that man grow with you. Yeah. If you can get that man
to grow with you before he starts getting rich and everything else. Yeah, he's gonna always be indebted to you because he understands a real man. I know there are some men who.
Thank you, because I was finna.
I was gonna say again, there's no 100% now. I'm not good. Again, I don't really believe anything 100%. Hell, even human DNA ain't 100%. We're 99.9, so we're never 100%. So there's never gonna be 100%. There's always gonna be the outlier. That's fine. But most real true men are gonna always be indebted to you if you do. If you was stuck with me when I ain't shit else, then things are coming and you're still you're there, you're supportive, the feminine energy you're bringing to me, and you're still. I always say this as far as a relationship. When I walk out that door, I always want a woman to be the biggest cheerleader of all.
Yes.
If she could just wear a cheerleading suit with me walking out the door.
I love that.
And I want her to be the biggest cheerleader of her when I walk back into the cheerleader. She stay
Duality.
that same damn cheerleader.
Reciprocal.
Walking back into the.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's will always be my number one fan. That should always be my number one supporter and everything else.
Yep.
Same thing. I should always be the one that, hey, you got that's new. Get my girl, motherfucker, go get that shit, man. Man, if you don't get your. Same thing. Man should do the same thing.
Yes, he should.
It should always be a balance. It should always be a balance. But ultimately speaking, again, the hierarchy of life. Yes, women. There's hierarchy of life, and yes, women.
I don't believe that.
You are below the men.
What?
I'm sorry.
How can you say
God,
that?
man,
The
woman,
podcast?
child.
That's not how it goes. You would say that at the end of the show. You would say that at the end and not the top of it, because I would go on. That is not. There's no hierarchy. We're all equal.
I think we had a discussion there.
We did.
We had to do a part 2.
Yeah, we did do a part 2. Clarence was getting ready to reject his notion of the hierarchy of men.
That's just a hierarchy of life, period.
It's not the hierarchy.
Look, that's just what it is.
So,
I think a lot of modern women would like, a lot of modern times that we're in right now, like to even the two, but a lot of times, no, that's just kind of what it is.
but men are not higher than women are. Women are not below men.
What I know is always been God, man, woman, child.
We're gonna be we're gonna come back for part 2 for that. That's not true. It's not true. We'll do a second round of that.
I'll say this then. For that not to be true, then ultimately, are you looking to submit to a man, or do you want a man to submit to you?
I think it's a balance. I think it's a beautiful dance.
Who leads?
It depends. It
Who leads?
depends. It depends.
Who leads?
Ultimately, the man.
God.
Not always, though.
I'm not trying to say it's a far gap, it's just if we were to gap, that's where we're at.
There's a balance. A relationship is a beautiful dance to me.
I guess
there's things that I'm strong at.
I'm not saying that I completely dominate the whole relationship. It's just me or not, but it's just more ultimately.
I think that even if it comes to the household, maybe a man don't know how to pay the bills like a woman does. Does that mean that she's the dominant one because she knows how to run the budget and she knows how to run the finances? Who's the dominant one then?
Well, I'll say this. Okay, so in our times that we're in now,
if the mortgage is being split and the bills are being split, then we're equal. If we're both working, you're both
working. I think ultimately it speaks to this. I want to individually take ourselves out of this. Just in general, we're just talking about the 51% and higher. Out of all of this, I think a lot of it is who ultimately leads the relationship. Because ultimately, if it is the way you say it is, if it is the woman, then ultimately.
When you say lead, what do you mean? If you can just.
Okay, so I guess what I mean by that is look. Unless you believe in 50-50 relationships.
I do.
That's why he said saying what you're saying. Okay, fine.
I am a different woman, though. I am a different type of woman.
That's cool. That's cool.
You know, so.
So I'll make a double example of this. Okay, so obviously a little 50-50 relationship. Fine, yes, everything's split down the middle. Mm-hmm. But one thing I've learned about this is this: in a 50-50 relationship, if it was to, do you think those? Do we have enough data to know? Do those work? Do they work to the point of marriages being longer than 10 years?
I feel like they do.
Unions are being longer than that. And I mean directly 50-50 down the middle.
I love that. Because there's no, it eliminates the hierarchy. Because we're both at an equal place. This is both of our home. We're both equally contributing to it. We're both taking care of the finances. We're both carrying our own weight. If we did this as independent people before we got into this marriage, I think we should keep those roles up within our household. So then if it does go to shambles, it eliminates that whole power structure of like, oh, this is your house. Because a man is going to feel like this is more of his house than it is a woman if he's paying all the bills.
So the question is the house in both people's names?
Yeah, it's in both persons' names. You split everything down the middle. She works, he works. Y'all both clean. Y'all both cook. You just take turns doing the things. And like y'all literally are two grown-ass adults who come together under one roof, and you have your own individual life, and then you have your life together. And I think that's another rabbit hole.
You are
a very rare case.
0.0007%.
I am
I'm gonna tell you about another 90-something%.
And I know
most women are gonna say that's a roommate.
Of course, and
so
I probably have women.
If I look at you as a roommate, I'm not going to submit to you as my man.
Hold on,
so
wait.
therefore, I'm going to back out.
Most women would say that's a roommate.
Yeah, most women say 50-50 relationship.
I'm sure I'll catch some hell for my opinions, and I do have more of a traditional mindset, or maybe it's not. It might be a more modern mindset. To me, that eliminates that whole men thinking that he is. I like balance. I like equal. It eliminates, if we can reduce all of the norms of our marriages have failed with being equal and both carrying the roles and the responsibilities around the house. If he likes to cook, let him cook. If she likes to cook, let her cook. And if he likes to fix the stuff around the house, let him. I feel like there's strengths and weaknesses in both parties' favor, and you're gonna find somebody who likes to do. You just complement each other. Like I said, I've had before when I was dating. One of the most healthiest, beautiful relationships that really did set the status quo, and it was I finally had a healthy relationship. Now he did cheat and we ended up breaking up. That's besides the point. But other than that, I now know what it feels like to be in a healthy relationship where you feel free to communicate. Where if somebody did something wrong, you don't shout them down, you wait, he will walk away whenever something got really heated, and he would say, I just need a moment. And I would try and do the same thing too. And we really tried to be like grown-ups. And I just think with relationships as they are already, we need to split things down the middle. We can both carry each other. It's so easy. I'm paying all this rent in this big old 2-bedroom apartment.
This is more of a modern
It's probably
mindset.
more modern.
It's more of a modern
It's probably,
mindset.
but also I like monogamy, and I like kind of vanilla-y type of things too.
That's fine. I mean,
I'm very traditional in the mindset as well. And I know that my frame of thinking is not where everyone else is.
I guess I call it more like this. Necessarily not modern and traditional, but it's more of a hybrid. And I say this too. Do you think all relationships have to be one or do you think all relationships have to be this? Either 100-0 or 50-50?
So for me, I personally would prefer 50-50, but I feel like in this day and age, it just has to work however that those two people work it out, or group, because you might be in an open relationship or a polygamous relationship. So whatever, so 0 to 100 is definitely, or 100-0 is definitely old school thinking.
Yeah.
And then I like 50-50, even if I have the option.
If you had the
I want 50-50.
Yeah. Now I think and I just want to get that out of the way. But obviously the third option is what we have currently now.
Yeah.
It's more of your modern day relationships. That's more anything in between.
Yeah.
So obviously it's working to whatever you feel like you should do that. But obviously I always ask just the two extremes there. Obviously, under 0, yeah, that's granddaddy, grandma, great grand, all that's yeah. Those days are about done and over. Done and over. You might see a few of those, but it's gonna be a very small percentage.
0 to 100.
Yeah, very small.
Like that's bigger now because the girls is all about like the money now.
Unless I'd say it's shrink because that's more of a housewife. More you're not working, so you just.
I think girls would prefer that at this stage.
I think women prefer it, but how many of them
actually happening? Yeah, that's true. Because the submission comes with the mindset of that. So
yeah, that becomes. And remember, again, these are women who, at this point, you have multiple degrees. You've gone as far. Who's giving that up now to just sit at home and not do anything for a man that? Again, they make more money.
That's true.
So that's not always. That's not what's gonna happen.
That's true.
So
yeah.
That's why, and that's kind of why I asked that question. It's more of just
which
of the two you prefer. But again, obviously the third one would be anything in between. That's kind of where we're at now. Whereas you have
society.
those relationships where 80-20, 75-25, however you want to put the numbers in. That's kind of where you're at.
So that wraps up this wonderful rabbit hole of a conversation that we have had. Thank you so much for joining. The trivia was a lot of fun. I'll be sure to tally all of Clarence's points and put them on the board here for you to see. And again, where can people follow you at?
You can follow me here at Instagram on MidwestBoy84. That is all one word. Yeah. Also, I guess I'll tell you what you see on there too. My photography page, that is SDS Digital Services as well. It's on the main page or anything like that, so you can just follow those there. Just come shout your boy out. And this was very great though. I really liked the conversation that we had here.
Same here.
I like the setup. Just love it all. Just love everything. But this was fun evening. Everything.
I'm happy to do it.
But no, I definitely enjoyed the evening here. Enjoyed the food and everything.
So what would you give the food?
Can't wait till next time.
You gotta come back. You have to. We got some.
Well, I was so. No. The food was great. The food definitely was great. If I was have to go back and order those again, I would do it. Okay. Hopefully, I got some spots near Stockbridge.
Yeah.
Little far from home now. This is about maybe 4 months ago.
Vegan is out there with you, I think now.
It's in College Park, but it's not too far away.
Yeah.
So I just have to drive over there. But
no, she has like three Atlanta locations now.
I know she growing. She
growing like crazy. Shout outs to Pinky. You doing your thing. Take her.
Hey. But again, I do thank you very much for allowing me into your space.
Thank you for joining. You finally made it. We before he just bought his home, he lived around the corner literally. And I was telling him, like, I live down the street from you. You should definitely come through. And we should have, like, I got the bar and everything. You should come through.
Well, I mean, she had all this stuff,
I've been at this stuff.
You been at this already? What? Oh, come on.
I've been on this. Now, the podcast stuff is new. And I switch it out. As you guys can see, our mics are improving. And, I'm learning more as we go along. So it's getting there. I'm getting the headphones together. Make sure that you subscribe. You just might like a podcast on all platforms. And also follow me, Chanel Navassier, on Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. I have it listed below. And check out my Etsy shop, www.chanelnavassier.com. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good one. Deuces.